Hey, welcome back to my channel. This is Caitlin with Lucky 13 Creations. So this intro is coming to you from the future. I decided that we had so many whips that we came up with. I wanted an easy win that also allowed me to be a little bit creative and do a little bit of design work and keep everything really fresh and keep me really entertained. So originally I had 8 mesh bags that we put on the whip board as they needed tags to be completed. So for this week, we're going to make tags and tag 7 of them. One of my friends was super excited and took one home to share with her family. So we have 7. So I'm going to take you from beginning to end on how to make my leather tags. Not quite a tutorial, kind of a come along with me sort of vlog, but if you want to learn more details about how I did things for these leather tags, more details, more information, just let me know down below in the comments and we can totally do a tutorial over that if that's something you guys would like. So come along with me as we now go back in time and make these tags and let me know what you think. Okay, bye.
The first thing we have to do for making leather tags is to pick out our leather. You'll notice that this is a 2 to 3 ounce double shoulder and it is a veg tan leather, and I picked the 2 to 3 ounces because that means it is thin enough to be flexible to fold over the edge of these bags like I want, but also thick enough that it will be robust and this bag can be used every day and the tag will not be damaged. A veg tan leather allows me to stamp my custom emblem on it versus a chrome tan or something else will not take a stamp like I want this one to take. Right now I'm actually cleaning up the edge of this leather and making this a nice straight line so that it's easier for the next step. That next step uses this strap cutter. That way I get a nice consistent line all the way down. So I take it and put it on the end of the leather. There's a razor blade inside of it, and I will just take this and slowly drag it down the edge, keeping that razor blade edge I just made against it so that I get a nice uniform rectangular piece. From there, I'm just going to take my razor blade that I used earlier and cut tags that are the width of my ruler. The width of my ruler is just going to be nice and easy and consistent. I wanted to experiment with this lot of tags. I typically don't oil my leather before I dye it, but I've heard that that can be a benefit. So I wanted to try it on these. So what I've got here is some neat's foot oil, and I'm just putting it solid coating on each of the tags first, get it all hydrated and make it nice to play with. You don't have to let the oil sit too long before you move to your next step. So I went ahead and grabbed my Poundo, which is the black you see here, and it's basically some rubber that protects your hole punch when you go to stamp it down. You'll notice I'm doing everything on this white rock. That's actually a slab of granite, and it is much better for leather work. So I'm just taking that punch and I'm making holes in each of the tags where I want them to go so I can connect everything with Chicago screws later. I am cheating a little bit. I am folding the tag over first and just punching all the way through because you'll never see the back side of these when all is said and done. Now up to this point, I had never tooled on leather that was this thin, so I was giving it a go and figuring out what I liked and what I didn't.
Ooh, I like it.
As with all things, as I kept doing this, I got better and better as I went, and they started looking really good. I did Sharpie a couple spots on some of my stamps to help me line it up, but I think it turned out really cool. I was really excited by how this process was going. Took a little break and I came back, and so you see me here casing the leather, which means spraying it with water. When you tool leather, getting it the right amount of moisture in the leather is critical to get a good tooling job. So before the break, I worked on the ideas I liked, and then when I came back, as you see here, I just started mass producing these tags. I went through and I did all of my numbers first and got them all lined up so I could use the same stamps, and then I followed up later with my big clover and L and just hammered through all of them on the table.
That one's perfect. So my logo, and then Scott Stuff gets a special secret stamps, the turtle and the penguin.
I had heard somewhere about this marbling technique with shaving cream. I've never actually seen anyone do it, but in classic Caitlin fashion, I thought, hey, how hard could it be? So I got some standard foamy shaving cream and put drops of my leather dyes in it and swirled it around a little bit. Probably too little, too late for the gloves at this point, but leather dye is meant to dye these hides, so it will dye your skin as well. But anyways, I put one of my test tags that didn't come out so well in the dye foam mixture thing.
Okay, that could be cool. If it had more blue, maybe? It could be cool.
I could just be biased that blue is my favorite color, but I did go ahead and add some more blue here as I spattered blue all over my desk. I did learn that acetone could wipe it up if you don't leave it for too long though, so that's good to know, especially on these little IKEA tops.
I like this darker one better. It's kind of fun.
After taking my marbling break, I went back to finish up my tooling. If the marbling is something you like or you would want more details on or a tutorial or something, let me know down in the comments because it was super fun to play with. It just wasn't going to be the look I wanted for these bags, so I went ahead and moved on as I had originally planned. Scott is so proud of his hat, and so I was making him a custom tag while I was working on all the others. So he came in to powwow with me and tell me exactly what he wanted so we could get it perfect.
I was thinking either the golden brown or the dark brown kind of thing, just simple. Yeah, this is the dark, this is the golden. And those don't have neat's foot on them. And for yours, we can marble or do whatever you want. I was just, these are the two I think I'm going to use for the bulk.
Yeah.
But I can do yours that way too. Oops.
I kind of like having your logo be a brighter color.
If you want it natural, that's fine too.
I was thinking like this guy. I think that would be pretty perfect.
Okay. 1, 2.
I tend to do these wet steps, like the neat's foot oil and the dye on cardboard, simply because I don't like cleaning oil up off the table, and dye will dye it forever.
Do you want to dye? Do you want to do something, or you want to hang out? Or do you want to leave?
I want to hang out for a minute. Maybe play with your doggies.
Okay.
So I got daubers out because that's what I like to use for dye, and I did half of these tags in golden brown and half of them in dark brown. Make sure anytime you do dyeing that you also pick it up and dye your edges. People can see the edges, and it looks better when the edges are dyed.
Sweet! I get to finish all those market bags tomorrow. Bye!
They sure are the best help, aren't they? I may have done my final steps in slightly the wrong order, but I went ahead and pulled out my Resolene, which is a top coat finisher that I wanted to go ahead and put on my leather to make sure I didn't mess it up going forward, because I was super happy with how these turned out. So once again, I just got a dauber and gloves and put an even coat on each of the tags. I let the Resolene dry overnight and then came back the next day, and I wanted to run an experiment on a couple of these tags. So this first one, I put Tokadol, which is essentially a polishing compound, on the edges of my leather, and I am using it on my burnishing wheel. So this burnishing wheel has two sides. It's got a sandpaper side and a wooden side. I believe it's rosewood, but I'm not totally sure. And so I took the polishing compound on the first one and just did straight wood. On the second one, I sanded the edges first and then put Tokonol on it, followed it up on the wood to get that nice edge burnished to see which style I liked better.
sanded one better. This one, I don't know if you can see it, was the unsanded one. This one was the sanded one.
So once I completed my experiment, I did decide that I liked the sanding version better. So I went through and I took each tag and sanded it one after the other. And then I followed up after that with Tokonol and the wood burnishing of each one and just followed that order of operations to completion. Burnishing was the last real processing step that would change the form or fit of the leather. So once I completed all of that, I took some white saddle soap and I put it on the front and the back of each of the tags. It's a soap, it's a conditioner, and it makes the leather softer and more durable. And that was something I wanted to coat with this time and just see how it worked out. And I really liked how it turned out in the end. From here, you're going to see me add the tags to each of the bags. I attached the tags with Chicago screws to each one. This one is the purple variegated bag, and I think it is so pretty. But enjoy this montage of tag additions. turned out that on this last bag that I tried to attach, my Chicago screw I had originally was stripped. So I had to go get an antiqued Chicago screw, and I think it actually turned out better. I really liked that antiqued look.
And that's that. We've completed 7 whips. You got to see all of them at the end in all of their beautiful, colorful glory. I love them all so much. And I'm really excited for you guys to be able to get your hands on them. And speaking of, that brings me to my next topic. The Etsy shop. The link is below in the description. And I've decided that I'm going to do a mass drop of the completed projects on January 31st. Everything's going to go live, hopefully, at noon Mountain Standard Time on January 31st. So look for items that day. They'll all go live at the same time if I set it up right. And all of these bags that you saw in this video today will be available for purchase. So let me know in the comments what you're interested in purchasing, what you're looking for, different colors, what have you. I'm game to listen. So thank you for hanging out with me, and I can't wait to see you next week. Bye.